Episode number 9. Thank you guys for tuning in. My name is Coach Johan, whatever you want to call me. Of course, I'm the main host. And we have the co-host, Coach Nik.
I'm back.
And we have this very, very special guest today, my friend, my client, Olivia.
Yes.
She's very talkative in case
She's
you can't
very
tell.
talkative. So this is going to be a really fun one. No, it's Olivia's been with me for a year now.
Yep. A year.
Exactly a year. And so we're going to talk about your journey. We're going to talk about what it's like being in your shoes, living with your family, dealing with the foods and work and throughout your journey as well. And we're going to talk about why you work out 7 days a week. That's
used to.
Yes. Used to. We're going to talk about that. So we're going to deep dive a little bit on your story and your lifestyle, because I want people to really understand and listen to your journey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So from top to bottom, what is it like, where were you at before you started mentally, physically, and emotionally?
Before I started going to the gym?
Mm-hmm.
And he means like the beginning.
The beginning.
The beginning.
So,
Yeah.
So it could be, a lot of people are like, oh, like I started having problems with my body image in high school or whatever. Like the beginning. Yeah.
So I played soccer in high school. I tore my ACL twice. After that, it kind of went downhill because I didn't have a coach. Like I wasn't in an actual league, it was just high school soccer. So not having a coach to kind of believe in me, after I graduated high school in 2014.
So did you play soccer your whole life?
Yeah, I played soccer my whole life. After those injuries, it was kind of hard. I mean, I still went to therapy, but I graduated back in 2014, and I still wanted to be, stay fit. And heartbreak, led me to.
Wait a second.
Wait.
By the way,
this is a whole other topic.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get to that in a second. Go ahead.
A heartbreak led me to kind of, try and start getting fit and stuff because. Yeah, revenge too. So I had no one to go to the gym with. I signed up, and the way that I actually just learned, because we didn't have TikTok at the time. I would just go to the gym, observe people, see what they did on, specific machines. And then once they got off of them, I would go look at the pictures on the machines and then just started learning from there. I still did cardio. Yeah. And then did that for about 4 years. And then I decided to do CrossFit at the Movement in West Jordan. That's when I really learned how to lift heavy.
I did not know this story.
Yes.
Wow.
Like I said, Olivia's like an onion. I had to peel her one layer at a time, and I still don't know a lot about her story. So this is why you're here today.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you did CrossFit for how long?
I did CrossFit for 2 years.
What?
Yeah. So.
Did you like it?
I loved it. I know a lot of people talk bad about it, which I didn't know until I actually joined CrossFit. But honestly, it helped me so much. I started with just a barbell, no weights. And then Coach Ryan, he taught me how to just lift heavy. And I started from ground zero, and when I was at the gym, it was just machine work because I was too shy. I was like, oh, I don't want to look dumb, blah, 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 just overthinking. Yeah. And then I did that for 2 years. But I started working out 7 days a week because I was going through a lot of personal issues. When I was in CrossFit, I kind of stopped doing CrossFit. I would go to the gym just to go, and it kind of made me feel like I was running away from my problems.
Yeah.
Just to kind of have a safe space to go.
And the gym was it?
And the gym was it. I would go, but it's not like I was doing sets till failure. It was just doing the bare minimum. That's why my body plateaued, and that's when I stopped actually taking care of myself. I didn't really eat. I mean, I wasn't drinking at the time either, but it was just I was overeating. Yeah. And I wasn't happy with myself. But it's because I was consuming other people's problems, and I felt like at the time I had to fix them.
And I think that's just who you are.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had this conversation. That's the one thing that, especially, we have a lot of moms, right? And they do a really good job at taking care of everyone else the last person they take care of is themselves. You know what I mean? And but that's your character, though. You know, that's what makes you so special. You know what I mean? So when you did CrossFit for 2 years, and did you stop?
Yeah, eventually I stopped because, like I said, I just was going through personal issues where I just lost myself. But when I was at CrossFit, I did do my first competition, which I never knew I was going to do when I joined it, but it was the best thing ever. Like, it was so challenging. And it was a group, group comp. So I had someone else join me too. And it was just amazing. Like, I loved it. I would go back to CrossFit.
And that would propel you to who you are today.
Yeah.
Because by the time you met me, you know most of the exercises that I'm teaching you. I mean, obviously you've learned some new things, but
yes,
that's cool. So again, I didn't know she was in CrossFit.
I had zero idea. I didn't even know you competed.
I didn't know you competed in CrossFit. This is new to me. I didn't know you want to go back either. Oh, you would. It's not that.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, you would. So when you started with me, and I think if I remember correctly, your weight was sitting around 152 pounds.
Yeah. But
your body fat was sitting at 30%. And today you were sitting exactly almost 150 pounds, but your body fat is 22%.
Yes.
Exact same weight. So how does that happen? How do you feel with?
I feel amazing. It's more so like my eating habits, of course, and then just learning, the way that you train till failure, because I wasn't doing that for myself at the gym.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing that I taught you.
Yeah.
So the number one mistakes that a lot of people make, if you're listening to this right now, is a lot of people just go to the gym just to go to the gym. They go to the gym just to pick up the weight and just do the most bare minimum monotonous things just because they want to go. Now, when you hire a coach and they put you in this path of success, lifting with intentions and understanding why you're there, the gym now has become more fun because then you start seeing progress. That's obviously including nutrition too.
Yeah. And then, having a bad workout is still better than not going to the gym at all, but that's in like moderation. Because if you just go and only have bad workouts, then
for months,
kind of wasting your time going.
Well, we talk about like our worst workouts are most people's good workouts.
Yeah.
If you think about it, because we're like, for you, you're to the point now where you know how to push yourself, you know what it means to drop set, how to go to failure, you're tracking your weight, you're progressive overloading. Yeah. So even if, you leave and you're like, I just don't feel like I did shit at the gym, it's still, if you talk to somebody else in the gym, they're like, yeah, I did that exact same thing and it was amazing.
Out of a whole month, on a weekly basis, me and Nick will have one or two shitty gym workouts. Mm-hmm. Right. And at the end of that workout, we always say, man, that was not as good as we wanted to. But even at that caliber, that's better than what most people would do. Yep. We just have a very, very high expectation on ourselves. And I think you have the same thing as well. Yeah. You get mad at yourself when you couldn't lift certain weights. Yeah. And, or you beat yourself up when you had some shitty foods over the weekend and you came back to that Monday. And I'm like, what is going on? Yeah. But going to the gym is not just forsaking just to go to the gym. I think people think that we're just this kind of like gym bros, like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? Like people are like, oh, he's just a gym bro. He just go to the gym, like blah, blah, blah. No, like we go to the gym because we are broken at one point.
Yes.
Well, I was talking about this on Friday after my soccer game. I was with my dad and some of the guys that we play with, and we got talking about exercising and bodybuilding and this and that, and one of the guys on our team, Kevin, he brought that up too, saying there's just a lot of dudes that they just go to the gym to lift and they have fun and do this and that. I'm like, well, 95% of us are fighting something in our head, whether it's depression, it's anxiety, it's self-image issues, it's a bad breakup. There are the few no-neck bros at the gym, and they're very obvious. But most of the people you see in there who are in there religiously, it's because they're trying to overcome something. And I think that's the one thing that people don't understand as to why we do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. People just think we just go to the gym just because we like to look at ourselves. Because we have mirrors there, right?
Exactly.
And we flex on the mirror. I get why we have mirrors there. It's not because we want to flex. It's because so we can see our form, first of all. Yeah. right? That's number one key. Yeah, of course we flex. Of course we pose. Like when we compete, we have to pose and we have to know what we look like. But you know, at the end of the day, Nick, I know a lot of his insecurities. He knows a lot of my insecurities. I know a lot of Colton's insecurities and yours as well. That's why we're in the gym. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then when people looking out from outside looking in, looking at us, and they're like, well, these guys are just, they're you know, self entitlement, you know, bragging, posts, you know, posting pictures and video, posts about ourselves. No, like
it must be nice to look like that. It's like, well,
that's what they say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't know what we had to go through to get here. And even then, I think the majority of the people who, you know, those comments are made to, they don't like the way they look.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about your turning point. What was the moment, if you can bring yourself back there, what was that moment in your life and say, you know what, I want to make a change? What was that moment?
Well, when I was going through my personal issues, more like family issues, I could have gone back to CrossFit, but for me, I just had specific goals, like new goals that I wanted to reach. And there comes a point in time where I'm just like, kind of just being sick of your own shit, sick of your own cycle, you know?
We've all been there.
Yeah.
We've all been there, right, Colton?
Yeah.
We're all sick of Colton.
Yeah, we're all sick of Colton stuff.
And I was with my friend getting my brows done, and I just, you know, she's the one that noticed, and she was just like, hey, like, what, you look so different, like, you look pale, you look like you're not taking care of yourself, and that's not like you. And I just broke down because I'm like, dang, like, you're right, you know? And that's the moment I realized, like, obviously I stopped taking care of myself, and that's not okay. Like, in order to help others, I feel like it all starts within yourself. So you need to help yourself first. And that's when I just kind of like backed off, and I just learned that I can't let other people's problems consume me as much as I want to, you know, fix people or just like fix their problems, because I don't want them to go through, you know, certain things. That's when, you know, I came across your page, and I just decided, like, just give myself 6 months or a year to keep a promise to yourself and see where it goes. Because I feel like at the end of the day, when you work on yourself, you never lose. It's always a gain. Like, you're going to eventually learn something. And then from there, other opportunities, you know, come, and you just start growing.
I think life is a big game, but that is the only one that you get to make the rules to. Yeah. Everything else, you just have to play by the rules, but working on yourself, or, you know, whatever you want to call it, going to the gym, personal development, whatever you want to call it, that's the only game that you get to play in life, where you make the rules and the expectations and the goals and, you know,
well, and you made the comment you're gonna commit 6 months to a year to do this and to keep this promise. But there's a lot of people, you know, they come in and they, you know, we tell them most of our clients have been with us for a year, because it's not instant gratification. It's going to take time. Yeah. And they don't want to devote that much. Like, well, the year's going to go by regardless. So why does it matter how long it takes?
Yeah, when Yo first started, he used to do month to month, but then what would happen is somebody would sign up for 1 month and then be like, I don't have any results, and not sign up again. So then he started making it a 3 month minimum. Yep. And you'd see some results. Now it's a 6 month minimum, because it's just like, that's the only way to see.
Yeah, you can see progress, but even then, depending on the person's body and what they're going through, 6 months isn't even enough time. Yep.
You also realize anything worth having never comes easy, too.
Yeah, 100%.
So
I want to go back to your friend when she found that out. And let's talk about you being emotional, right? So when she found out, when she looked at you and she said that, and you responded in a very emotional way. So was that hard for you to listen? Was she the only one? Was she the only one that said that to you, and no one else like noticed, or what? Because sometimes, like, when you go through life and no one says anything until one person, and I know those person in my life that's had to stop me and say, hey, are you okay? And all of a sudden you just start crying, you know, or you're emotionally connected because no one had to ask you that in so long, you know? So what was that?
My best friends knew what I was going through. You know, they had given me advice, but they hadn't seen me. And
did you gain weight at that point or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
But I was wearing loose clothes because I was so uncomfortable. Like, until now, I'm not really a big fan of wearing tight clothes, but like, I was gaining weight, and that's the way, you made me take my progress pictures. That's how I looked.
Yeah. The beginning one.
The beginning one. Yeah. But she saw me. She knows how I am, she knows my routine as far as the gym and stuff. And so when she told me, it was kind of like just an eye opener. Like, I think people are just so used to me being there for them that they don't really say like just a simple like, hey, are you okay? They're just so used to being me, me being there for them. And she wasn't used to that. So that's why she had brought.
Were you like, did you get angry at all when she asked that?
No.
It was just
just
emotional release, like finally.
Yeah, it was more so emotional release.
That's happened to me before, but I always have that feeling of like, damn, dude, they found out. Like, because you're trying to hide it,
Yeah.
Like, and then you're like, dang, like.
And you're trying to hide that shit like all the time.
Yeah.
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 And I was trying to hide it for a long time.
It's the same thing when I was bigger too. And I remember I was buying larger clothes, and then I remember one time I asked my mom, like, mom, like, are you, like, do I look okay? She goes, yeah, you're fine. You look fine, And then now I'll go back and I tell my mom, I'm like, Mom, you did me dirty, bro. You lied to me. I did not look good. No, but someone in my life, like for instance, for me was recently, Jess was the one who told me that I hit a wall. And I didn't know. I didn't know that I was hitting a wall. Like I was working. And then all of a sudden I just couldn't rest very well. And my weekend just gets shorter and shorter and shorter. And when she told me that I haven't taken any weeks off this year and then all of a sudden it hit me and I'm like, oh my God. And then I just couldn't let go until I get to that point. But yeah, someone in your life, like, and Nick does it, he's done it to me multiple times. Colton's done it to me multiple times. A lot of people in my life have done it. And there's a reason why these guys
He'll be such a diva. I can tell, dude. He'll start acting like
I can see it.
Oh yeah.
and I'll just text him, I'll be like, you're being a diva. And then he'll usually ignore me. And then the next day I'll be like, bro, my bad. Like,
yeah. And especially when I'm on prep. Yeah. I'm
and it's good to have people that know you.
Yeah.
They don't take it super personal. They're just like, okay.
But I think it's how people word it and like the intention behind it. Because with your friend, it was very much she cares about you and she wants to like, Olivia, what is going on? But there's so many people who they'll come across aggressive and like, you're acting like a dick right now. And be like, chill out.
Yeah.
It's like, well, just take a step back and ask them if they're okay. Try to figure out what's going on. But now it's gotten to the point where I recognize he'll come into the office and he'll walk in like, hey, dude. As soon as I'm like, yeah.
He's in those.
I'm like, bro, either you need to eat, like, especially on prep. I knew when he didn't have his food because he'd come up, hey, like, did you eat? I'm fine. Go eat your damn food.
Well, you see me on prep though.
Yeah,
the whole for 6.
You had talked about it
6
before,
months.
and I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know what he really means, and then,
Yeah,
when it happened,
very obvious.
Oh,
yeah, I mean, it's just the energy. Like I'm so low, but I was able to still function, take care of what I needed to take care of.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how tired I was. And then I remember one time I was training with Nick when we were doing back, and he was pushing me fucking hard. Like I was like, I didn't want to be there. I was low energy. I was like 0 carbs, and I got emotional towards the end of that because I'm like, dude. But I appreciated the fact that he pushes me, because no one would do that. No one,
Yep.
Jess
like,
wasn't there. No one else.
You're tired. You don't need to do it. I was like, no. Hell no.
You need to do it.
No, because I know what will happen if we don't push you.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's good to have those types of people, friends or family in your life to give you, to cut out all the bullshit and call you out. Yeah. That's what I want. Like I want these guys to do the same thing to me. If I'm doing something that I'm not supposed to be doing, call me out.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. And I will do the same thing to these guys.
Yep.
But some people you just can't do it with, right? And you know what I'm talking about. You just can't do it. And you're like, oh, I don't know. And then they get mad at you. They get really defensive.
Yeah.
And have that.
Dude, I'll send my check-ins, and I know, like, before I even send it, I'll be like, I know what he's going to say, and I'll send it, and he'll be like, bro, you're not sleeping. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Or, like, he'll be like, hey, like, where's your water at? And I'm like, yeah, it's not very good.
Like, I have a client who before we started our cut, his weight was barely dropping. It was like 8-9 weeks in the program, barely dropping. Yeah. And so I went back and was looking at all of his check-ins, and he would always say how many alcoholic drinks he would have every week. And then I'd make sure, I'm like, did I tell him to not do that? And sure as shit, I did. So finally, I called him out and told him, like, look, at this point, you're wasting my time. Either you stop drinking, just not forever, just temporarily, or I'm not going to help you anymore. And it's only been 9 weeks, and you're going to lose the rest of the time because this is bullshit. You know what you should be doing. You're a grown man. And then the second he did that, he immediately, within a couple weeks, dropped like 10 pounds. That's how severely stressed and bloated he was.
And
Sometimes
that's our
you
job.
need that.
Sometimes
Yeah.
that's our job.
Yeah.
It's hard. Like
Yep.
it's not like we love to do that. We don't love to scold people and tell them, "Hey, get
No.
the fuck up." Like we don't love doing that. But we see your passion, we see your potential, and I see Colton and Nick's potential. It's the same thing. Like, let's go. What are we doing?
Yeah.
What's your experience been like receiving that kind of feedback from Yo?
Amazing. At first, I was obviously, because I'm like, oh, he's actually gonna weigh me. Like, you can't cheat yourself, okay? First of all, but if you cheat yourself, you're gonna end up wasting your own time. Do you really want to do that? Am I spending this much money just to stay the same? No. Like, I have to put my all, and so I was like, I can't cheat. I mean, I did cheat a couple times, but I honestly am surprised that I didn't cheat as much, especially because I am such an emotional eater. I overeat.
You would binge?
Yes. Like I want to feel full, even though it doesn't feel good. But it
What is
really,
it, like hot Cheetos?
No, honestly, it's just
What?
food, like actual food.
Really?
Yeah.
Hot Cheetos for me, man.
Really not a snacks person. Like, carne asada fries.
No, my
Ooh.
God. Don't even go there.
Bro, I'm so hungry right now.
Not had.
Yeah, you hot Cheetos, granola bars get me. I don't know what it is about
Those Nature
granola
Valley
bars.
wafer
That's
bars,
exactly
like
what it is.
chocolate
Yeah,
and
dude.
peanut butter ones.
Yeah.
Oh.
The Nature Valley granola bars, dude.
Yeah.
I get those, and
Yeah. Well, there's the wafer one that's chocolate and peanut
yeah, I don't
butter.
have
And my
those.
wife will buy like 3 boxes of them from Costco. And I went through a whole box the other day.
sometimes
Not
like,
a
So I was
fan of
so
those.
hungry.
oh, dude, sometimes I'll have one, and then as I'm walking away from the pantry, I'm like, it's literally like fighting the urge to go get another one.
I'm
They're
going to
so
be done with
good.
this by the time I get to the room. So I might as well go get another to eat in the room. Yeah.
So did you feel any type of way when because I was hard on you at some point, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember when we first started, you were very quiet. You didn't really say much. I don't really know what's going on with your life. And that actually makes my job a little harder too, because the way that we coach, the more we know about your personal life, your work environment, what your home environment looks like, the more we can help you. You know what I'm saying? So there's a wall. There's a huge wall there. So I had to break that brick by brick, basically. And what were you like emotionally, and obviously we know physically, but what were you like emotionally when you first started? Where were you? Were you scared? Were you afraid because it's a new challenge for you?
No, I wasn't scared. It was more so I was just ready. Like, being exhausted of your, toxic behaviors, you're just like, okay, I'm over it. Let me change something.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're in that mood where you don't talk a lot because you're ready to listen.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm ready to actually just do the work and, cut everything else around me. Like, I don't care.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a good amount of the reason why you were able to do all that, and like you said, you're surprised you didn't cheat as much as you thought you would, is because you grew up doing something competitive. You played soccer.
Yeah.
You had a coach. You had those expectations. So with our clients who have done something competitive like that in their life, they grasp this concept a lot easier. But then we have the few individuals who have never done anything. They didn't play sports growing up. They didn't
Never
do
had a
anything.
coach.
They never had a coach. So when we do have to give that harsh feedback, like I'm going to call Raul out on this, and I hope he listens to it, I had to send him a very aggressive message because he told me he didn't want to send his check in because he thought it was a waste of time. He knows what to do, so he thinks it's pointless.
Yeah.
So I went off on him. And then he saved that and says that when he gets in that mindset, he listens to it now and recognizes, okay, yeah, I did something wrong. But with clients who've never had that before, when we have to, and it's not that we're being rude, but we have to just be black and white and tell them, like, you came to me for help. Either you do this or you don't. I can't want it more than you.
Yeah.
If you want to cheat, that's fine. Go out and cheat, but then lower your expectations as to what you're going to achieve because you're not going to get there doing this. And then they think we're being mean or we're being rude, and then they shut down. It's even harder to get them back on track.
We have to coach them differently.
Yeah.
And we knew, so we had to ask about their background. I'm like, okay, what did you do in high school? What did you do in middle school? Were you a sports person or you're not? Are you active or not? Majority of the people that we have, they're not very active. A lot of them never play sports. Don't have never had a coach. So we have to, now that we know that, we have to simplify everything. Okay, go to the gym twice a week.
Yep.
Walk outside 5 days a week. Follow the plan. No cheat meal for a little bit. Or sometimes I give them a cheat meal right off the bat once a week because I've been cheating every day. To once a week, that's still a progress.
Some people are over ambitious too. They're like they never go to the gym and their diet's crap and they're like, tomorrow I'm going to the gym every single day for 1 hour and I'm going to cook all my food. It's just not possible. So it's like start with...
there's some that can do that, but majority of people, it's like just ease your way into
start with food and like walking outside and then gym once a week, then twice a week, then,
With the amount of... So you've been with me for a year. With the amount of progress that we've made. Yeah. And I remember every week she comes in, especially when we cut. And I was cutting her hard. Like it was
so hard.
It was hard.
That was
complicated. You weigh exactly the same with a less amount of body fat today. And how do you feel now versus who you were a year ago?
I feel amazing, less bloated. Now I just feel like I can really achieve anything I put my mind to. You know, it's having just that self-discipline that you develop. Yeah. And I'm just like so glad that I have you as a coach, because when I do my workouts, you always say you have one more turns into 5.
We always say one more.
Even after 5. I'm just like, oh my God. Like I hate it at the time, but at the end, I'm just like, dang, this is what I asked for though. Like someone that will actually push me past my limits, because I feel like sometimes you don't feel as strong. And then other people are like, no, you can do 5, 10 more easily. And you're just like, no, I can't. But then you realize you're like, oh yeah, I definitely can.
People fail at when it hurts. When it starts to hurt and then they stop.
That's when they stop.
Or it's they put in their head before they even go to the gym, I can only do 10. So they walk in like, I'm only gonna do 4 sets of 10 today. They hit 10. They know in the back of their mind they can do more, but because they've already told themselves they're only gonna do 10, the second they get to that 10th rep, their brain's just like, okay, you're done. Yeah. And then they drop everything.
And I think to extent from me, when I go to the gym, and even when I work out with Nick or Colton, I'll be like, hey, this is what we're gonna do today. We're gonna do this workout 1, 2, and 3. We start with 3. That's it. Because we know our first workout, there's like 10 sets in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Colton's been through it. And Nick as well. So there's 10 sets. And then the second workout, we go right to top set. We don't waste our time on low, medium, heavy. You go right to top. The reason why we do that is because we don't, if we do, okay, I'm going to do everything 4 sets of 12, which only mean by the time I hit my second, third set, I'm saving my energy for the last set, which I don't want to do that. I'm pushing as hard as I can. First, second, third, and then sometimes we go fourth. I had to drop the weight. Yeah.
We'll drop set. We'll go to failure, but we don't really go in with a plan. That's the thing. We go in like knowing the movements we're going to do, but we have no idea how the reps and sets are going to turn out.
Yeah. Well, sometimes we even do like 3 workouts.
Yeah.
But those 3 workouts, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It feels like you're doing 5.
Yeah, and because we're doing I'll do like negative variations or pauses. Remember that 5-second pause that I do between sets?
Those kill me.
Yeah.
My favorite was when Matt, asked to go to the gym with me and asked if I'd coach him, and we did legs one day, and we did sled, like decline leg presses. And we did the 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. So we did that. Yeah, you remember those? Crazy. So we did those, and I remember we were done. He was like, yeah, man, that was great. Like, I'm ready to go home. And I was like, we got like 3 more things to go do. This is just 1. And I remember he went, are you fucking kidding me? And he never asked to go to the gym with me again.
Yep.
So there's only some people can hang. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the gym is not for everybody.
No.
You know, I think progressive overloading or strength training is not for everybody. A lot of people love CrossFit. Some people just love going to Orange Theory, and that's okay. Yeah. And I think the beauty about our program is like everyone that sits in this chair, all of you have a different workout program, and all of you have different cardio program, different meal plans, you know, different goals, and different ability too. Because my boy Ryan, you've met tall Ryan. I don't know if you've seen him sometimes, but he has condition where he cannot move certain part of his body. Right. So I have to really be creative with him, and as creative as you know what I mean. It's and you guys can do as much at anything and and everything, but I have to be creative every week, because if I push you the same as it was last week, then we're not making any progress.
Right. And then people have injuries too. Like I have an injured shoulder, so I have to do different shoulder workouts than other people.
So how do you deal with food at home? Because I know you live with your mom, right? Because your mom's technically your roommate. You bought the house. The house is yours.
So
how do you deal with the food coming from an Hispanic background.
Yes, I'm talking about homemade tortillas every single day. Like it's
She
the
makes homemade?
authentic, yes.
For real?
Mexican
We got to
food.
go over.
Yeah,
to
I
her
know.
house.
We're going over to her
house.
house. And then we're going over
I
to-
can even bring
we're going
some.
to- yeah,
Oh,
we're gonna
God,
have a
that sounds
party
so
at
good.
your house in Mackenzie's.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
That was really difficult. I'm not gonna lie, because who doesn't like homemade food? But I think I've spent so much time to like build a routine that I like,
Yeah.
and when I don't have that routine, I feel like everything's just unorganized. I feel lost. It's hard, but I get through it.
Yeah, because your mom make it every day.
Yeah.
So what,
She has her food. I have my food.
did she say something at first?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, like, would she make food and tell you to come eat, and you're like, oh, I can't have that.
She's just like, at first she didn't understand, like, oh, what do you mean? But she knows that I've,
Now
spent
she sees
a
it.
lot of time at the gym, and she's just like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Sometimes she's asked me every now and then, like, are you sure you don't want some? And I'm like, oh no, I'm fine. I meal prep on Sundays, and
But now she sees you eating the same thing, and it's become normal to her.
it's so normal
and
to her.
and she talks about your progress. Obviously, she sees the difference. Yeah, that's awesome.
I always say, are you sure? She's like, yeah.
I need my grandma to meet her mom.
I know.
To get on that. Because my grandmother still to this day, I'll come over with my food, and she's like, why are you eating that?
Oh.
Oh
She's
my
like, you've been
gosh.
doing it for too long. She told me I look
dude.
fat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Big strong boy.
No, she doesn't think I'm strong. She thinks I'm fat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's like, you need to lose weight. You look better when you were skinny. I was like, okay, thank you.
And
Appreciate it.
And so how does that correlate with your environment? Because now your home environment is very chill. Because obviously your mom understands your goal, she supports you, right?
Yes.
So how did that transition to your group of people that you used to hang out with every weekend? What is that like now?
Honestly, I've been blessed with my close friends, the ones that I consider like my actual best friends and my family. They've been supportive, just like my other family. I've never really, struggled with them getting mad at me for not, drinking and stuff. Most of them are settled down, like they have their family. The friends that I lost and I didn't hang out with, I had lost them and, cut communication before I even, joined you. Like I was over the party phase and stuff. So it was really nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's something we talk about, and we always kind of give people a heads up with when they start the program is, hey, you may lose some friends and some family members doing this because they're so used to
And relationships.
Yeah, they're so used to the old version of you, and then going through this, it's like an identity change. You become a different person who doesn't go out anymore. You don't go out and drink. You don't go out and eat the shit food. You don't go out and do these things. So they slowly stop inviting you, and then it gets to the point where you just branch off.
Yeah.
And that's hard too. And you had friends and I had friends.
Friends, family. I mean,
even especially family.
Yeah.
Family, you can deal with because you see them, so often.
Yeah.
But as far as friends, I remember transitioning to a whole new group of friends after a full year of me doing this was crazy. And it's not that I don't like them. It's not that I don't like me either. It's just our life doesn't align.
Yeah.
And I stopped drinking every weekend. I stopped, eating burgers and fries every day, every weekend, drinking. And then we will go out on Saturday. Guess where we're going to go the next day? Brunch on Sunday.
Yeah.
What are we going to have in brunch? Mimosas.
Yep. Saturday we go Buffalo Wild Wings. We eat shitty food, drink a bunch, and then we feel like shit the next day. But we have to meet up at 10, so we can go get
Brunch.
and more alcohol.
How many times do we do that? We do it all the time. And then Monday you feel like shit.
Yeah.
And the environment, I think what a lot of people, I talk about environment all the time, especially with my clients, where if you have a very, very bad environment, home environment, no support, work environment, no support, and then your friends' social environment, you have no support there. And now you find yourself in one island by yourself. And it's really hard. And the only support system you have is us or me, or maybe your significant other if you have one.
You have one.
That is supportive.
But that makes me, even more happy that we have our community call that we do every other Saturday. Because then if you don't really have that support system at home or with, your significant other or friends, you have it within this. Not just from us, because we're he's your coach. He can only do so much. But when you have other people who are actually going through it as well, going through the same program, they're a part of it, they have their own goals and all that, it helps to make it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
But
And we do that every 2 weeks if you want to be a part of that. I mean, it's open to all clients, online and in person.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a really beautiful, like, I know certain people that are always on every single week and they love it because they want to show support because they've been through it. And some people just want to be a part of that because they need support.
Yeah.
And then obviously Coach Nick and myself, and sometimes Peyton join, and sometimes Coach Marjorie join as well. Sometimes Colton join as well.
will join.
And just to be in that environment because we know we all need that support. And there's so many times in life, like even now today, like it's hard for me to say that I don't have my parents who live here.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I just want to come home or on the weekends and talk to my parents about my achievement, and I just want them to say, hey, I'm proud of you. You're doing really well. That little thing, I mean, Colton knows, like I've talked to these guys about it a lot, and that it's huge. And that's one of the things I respect with Nick's dad too, because Nick's dad is always around, always supportive, always there for him all the time, which is awesome. So He's
been to all my bodybuilding shows that I've done. He's constantly talked to me about the business, telling me how he's proud. He's been, supportive of everything. He was our coach, for soccer growing up.
He was my very first coach.
Yeah.
I played for USA. That's how I met him.
Oh, wow.
So he was my very first comp coach, and he was my
So
coach.
you guys go way back.
Yeah, since
way
we were
back.
like, 13, 14 is when we met, yeah.
Yeah, we go way back. So, and so he's like my second dad to me. You know what I mean? But especially that I don't have anyone here, it's difficult.
Yeah.
But if people listening to this right now, clients or whoever's listening to this right now, you have to understand, like, if you have family members, friends, especially your parents, tell you you're doing a good job, thank them. You know what I mean? Because that, you may not know it. If you do get it often, you may not realize it.
Yeah.
But once you don't have it and once you lose it, and you're like, holy shit, I need that more than I thought.
And it definitely goes a long way too. I'm just having that support system,
Yeah.
I mean, regardless if you don't, I feel like always just focus on you, and you will lose people that aren't meant to be in your life. Your new life is going to cost you your old one. But it ultimately just comes down to you. Like, are you willing to make that sacrifice? Because anything you want, you're going to have to eventually sacrifice, whether that be fitness, your career, your personal. It just comes down to you and how much you want it for yourself.
I can't remember who it was, but another guest on here said you have to choose your hard.
Yeah.
Like, because being lazy and not going to the gym is hard. Going to the gym is hard.
Yep.
Maintaining friendships with people that aren't very good for you is hard. Cutting those people off is hard. Like, so you just got to choose.
Like we said, we've cut out so many people. I've cut out family members. And while it sucks to think about, they're just not in my life anymore, I probably won't ever see them again. I would much rather it be that way, because at the end of the day, like, I need to surround myself with quality people and people who are going to push me to that next level. Right. And so, like, since when he started coaching me, right, when he started, doing all of this, and then when I joined the team and became a coach, he would push me and encourage me, like, start the business, keep doing this, stay this way, don't deviate, don't listen to the negative, don't listen to this. My dad would do the same thing. My wife would do the same thing. But then I'd have family members who you'd expect to do that, who would do the opposite.
Yeah.
And we see that a lot with clients where they say their significant other. And I've never understood that. Why would you not support someone you love and care about to better themselves? Like, how damaged do you have to be on the inside to not want to see someone you care about succeed?
And the worst part about that,
I think
too,
they're afraid that you'll outgrow them.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
not what they
Yeah.
want.
Well, and that's exactly what happens is you do.
They're afraid that you'll become a better version and you'll realize that you don't want to be with them anymore. So they're trying to keep you. It's like that thing. There's an analogy that's true. It's if you have a bunch of lobsters in a tank or crabs, and one of them tries to crawl and get out, the other ones will reach up and hook onto it and pull it back in the water.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. And they don't, it's not, and I have to make it clear. It's not that they don't support you. It's just because they don't know how to support you.
Yes.
There's so many level of support that we talk about. But the number one thing is that when you start to do better and feel better, and you post more, you dress better, you drive a better car, you get a better job, because you feel better, right? You deserve more. You know your value. And then there's always someone in your life is trying to pull you down. Hey, just calm down, bro. Like, I've had someone told me, hey, bro, you bought a house this year, you got married. Next year, you just calm down. Someone literally said that to me. One of my old friend. Yeah, I'm not going to say his name, but I remember I was sitting in the car. He was driving. And I was driving home, and we're talking about, I got married the same year, 2017, and I bought a house the same year, and then I bought a car the same year, a newer car, same year. And I remember he sat in the car, and I was driving, and he said, dude, like, you did great this year, man. That's awesome for you. But next year, just calm down. And I thought to myself, why would he say that? That's weird. And then I went home and I told Jess about it, and she goes, really? And I'm like, yeah. And then I had to realize, I'm like, oh, that's because it's not because it doesn't want me to see me to be successful. He cares about me, but I took it as like, no, I'm gonna do more every year because people get comfortable, and when they get comfortable, that's when you die. That's when your dreams die. Period. Same thing with business. If you're content with your business, and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna make this amount of money every year, I'm okay. I promise you, by year 2, 3, your business is gonna die because you're not growing with the business. You're not willing to push your business to the next level. So it's the same thing with personal goals.
Yes.
If you don't write it, like I have a whiteboard in my bedroom. If I don't write it, if it's not written, it's not real.
Yeah.
Same thing with the workout. If it's not written, it's not real.
And I didn't do that before, I joined your program. I didn't write anything down. I wasn't measuring my food. I was just there, you know. And
how's your relationship with food now?
it's fine now. I feel like I do have my cravings,
Everyone does.
monthly, like everyone does, but I'm able to just step back and really think like, oh, is this really going to be worth it? Just imagine how you feel after eating, burgers and fries. Like you're going to feel internally, you're going to feel sick. Is it really worth it? Just having like that pep talk with yourself really does help.
Have you noticed that change where you used to be able to eat fast food and be fine, and now that you've been eating so clean, you'll go like, you're like, oh, I could probably get like Chick-fil-A or something. You just feel awful.
I was just gonna say
so
that.
terrible after.
I have so many clients who do. They would go get something religiously, and then they cut it out even for a month when they just start. And then I say, okay, go get a free meal. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm gonna go back out to Chick-fil-A because I used to eat that all the time, and they take one bite of a nugget, and they just cannot do it. Yeah. So what was your go-to food before you started with them like that? You said you were an emotional eater. So what was that one thing? Like, what was that vice?
What
that
was
you
a
had
go-to?
My go-to food would have to be carne asada.
I
Like
knew
it
it.
really
I
was.
knew
That
it.
sounds so
Or
good.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A, like their fries.
Carne
Oh my gosh.
asada.
He'd give me shit all the time because before I started with him, I was getting Chick-fil-A like
This is
10
true
10 to
story.
12
True
times
story.
a week. Because I was in management at Netflix, who paid very well, and I lived at home with my dad, and I was
He
single.
kept Chick-fil-A in business.
I had zero responsibility. So the one in the district, I would just pull up, and the manager kid, I can't remember his name, and I feel so bad because he was really nice. As soon as he'd see my car, within like 5 minutes, he'd come out with the exact thing I'd always get every day. And he would just have the little thing. He wouldn't even tell me amount. I would just pay and leave.
Did you tip him?
Yeah, I'd give him a tip.
Okay, good. You better tip him.
Yeah.
Of
course I would. They knew me.
They
I would just
even
pull up and they'd
knew your
immediately walk
order.
out and they'd already know what I want to do, which I'm like, is that a good thing or should I be embarrassed?
I had that happen one time. I remember I walked into a restaurant and the guy was like, "Hey man, it's good to see you again." And I went, "Man, fuck these guys." And I was like mad at them, but mad at myself. I was like projecting. I just remember being, man, whatever.
Yeah. And then going back and looking how much money I spent weekly at Chick-fil-A, I was like, oh dear God.
Speaking about money,
Yeah.
since you started this program, how much money have you saved?
Not getting your carne asada fries.
Not eating out every day, not eating out every weekend,
I've
spending a
saved
shit ton
a
of money.
lot.
Yeah. So
Like,
what you're saying, I should
no
increase
Uber Eats.
Enough to renew.
enough to renew and increase your rates. I
Yeah.
think that's great.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
you save a lot of money.
I'm glad you said Uber Eats because I don't think people understand how expensive it is to not just buy fast food, but get it delivered to the house. Because they're so
So
lazy now,
easy.
they don't want to go through drive-through and wait. So just
Yeah.
DoorDash or Uber Eats it. But do you know how much
I don't
money you're spending
know.
on?
I don't
It is
order.
expensive.
Yes.
There was something I saw recently that said that the way people live with like DoorDash and instant gratification on the internet, all the attention that you get from Instagram and things like that, that modern people live more luxurious than kings and queens thousands of years ago.
100%.
Yep.
And that's why, like, no wonder everybody's entitled and lazy and turning into a bunch of narcissists. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, people out here living like kings.
I mean, you can order your groceries and I'm be delivered to your house.
Yeah, you
That's what
can
my wife's
even
doing.
order.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad I don't want her going to the store right now.
Same.
But yeah.
It's
Yeah.
and well, especially with our little one, it's a hooligan going to the store, bro. Oh my god, like we don't want to go to the store with him, not happening. And sometimes we have to, and then we have to get in and get out, and it's hard, and especially when you're hungry, and you're
Hangry.
hangry,
Yeah.
both. We're both hungry, and Mama is hangry too, and I'm just like, it's not.
Everyone's
a
just
good
hangry.
No, it's not a good combination. So the amount of money, I think I made this math one time, and I was really conservative. An average person, an American, this is breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? Every day, not including the weekend. I just gave myself like $150. I know we spent more than $150 on the weekend. So between $800 to $1,200 a month in just eating out, and a program for 6 months program, it's way cheaper than that.
Yeah.
If you really think about it.
Yeah, if you break it down.
If you
it's
really
cheaper
break
than
it
that.
down, and
That doesn't even take into consideration showing up to work with your pumpkin spice latte that you just have to have every day.
Every
Yeah.
day, yeah.
and the amount of calories that they don't understand that they're actually.
So I tell
taking.
people like, well, I just can't afford you. I'm like, well, how often do you go get breakfast on your way to work or get a coffee?
Out to eat.
Well,
during lunch.
I budget for that. I'm like, well, how about instead of budgeting for that, you budget for this? Like, if you really care and gave a shit, you wouldn't make excuses. Like, do you really need that coffee? And it's Starbucks. It's gross. Like, you're fine.
And the amount of compliments that you've gotten this especially the last 3, 4, maybe 5 months, especially the last month. And you did that
Because
group
I
train.
repost your.
Yeah.
Okay, I am not the best at even taking progress pictures or even posting anything on my Instagram. So I do get the compliments when I repost, your videos. And I'm like, yeah,
You should
I need
probably
to start
post more.
Posting, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that last video that I
know.
posted of me, and you remember when we were just talking in the gym,
Yes.
and you were just standing there, and your quad was showing,
Yeah.
and you've never seen it like that because you don't really record yourself,
I
just
don't.
standing
I
there.
don't
Oh, we
record
know.
myself.
Yeah.
I'm like,
What has that transition been like from getting compliments? I know for me, I felt it was like for a little while I was really uncomfortable. Now I'm pretty used to it, but like
Or sometimes embarrassed.
like people are like, you look so good, and you're like, oh no, like
I still kind of get awkward with it.
kind of like shy away
Yeah,
from the
yeah,
compliment.
Yeah.
It's been
you get all
Yeah,
the girls slay.
Yeah, what do girls
Slay,
say
girl. Yeah, that's
to
what I
you?
said.
Because we get
guys like, bro, you look big.
Yeah. We
Bro,
get
looking huge, bro.
We
The
talk about that.
funniest
Our
thing.
wives are like, do girls like stare at you guys at the gym? I told my wife,
No,
big,
no.
you can come
Other
to the gym, look
dudes.
at my phone. It's all guys. Like, bro, you look huge. That's
Damn,
what we get
bro.
excited about.
Yeah.
When the dudes
And
tell
it's
us,
funny
Bro, you're
because-
so thick.
most of the some of the DMs that I get are from girls.
Yeah.
And they're just like, you look so good, or I want your trainer, or wow, keep going. Like I
not
can
want
see
me
the
like
glow.
that, but I see
No,
what you're
not
saying.
like that. Like I
I
want
take
to
that as a compliment. though. Married,
not
sorry.
like that. And yeah, they just say like you, you've glow, like you glowed.
Glow.
Yeah.
The glow up.
The glow up is
glow
real.
up, yeah.
But that's
And
why
I'm
we
just
tell our
like, wow,
clients
thank
like
you.
post and all that, not because you don't need to do to the extent that we do, because we also do it just so
Business.
people, for business people see what
Yeah.
it is that we do, but because you develop a silent following. I remember the day he told me that, and I was like, no one gives a shit about me posting on Instagram. No one cares. But then the more I did it, then I'd get random people, and now I get people messaging me almost weekly.
Yep.
Not just saying that stuff, but asking me about my shoulder and the shoulder injury that I had because they have the same thing. And so they want to know, like, what did I do to get to this point and this and that. And so I'll tell them that. But it's a lot of our clients, right now, they don't have the biggest following, but they'll post. And then all of a sudden they start getting messages from people they don't know saying, I've been watching you for a while. You look amazing. You are doing so good. Keep it up. You've inspired me to go to the gym. Have you gotten those kinds of messages?
I have, and then like my friends too, they will send me snaps and they're like, hey, I'm at the gym, like it reminded me of you, or I hope you're proud of me. And honestly, like it feels so good
Because they
because
look
I'm
up
like,
to you.
wow, like I'm, just by doing me, I inspire someone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What was
Like I'm simply just
Yeah. What was the best compliment you've received? Like for me personally, I think the best one, because people could say like, you look great, this, that, and the other. And then one of my really good friends was like, I need to get in the gym. And I was like, what makes you say that? And I remember he just looked at me and he's very serious. And he's like, I just want to be like you, bro. But it was one of those things like I'd always wanted to be like him.
Yeah.
Because he's like very well, financially very well off and very confident dude with great boundaries. Like I've always looked up to him. And so for somebody like that I held at a higher status to tell me, he's like, dude, I just want to be like you. I was like, what?
I think it was for my friend when she started eating a little bit healthier, started to watch what she eats. She would just snap me and she's just like, hey, like I'm eating healthy because of you. You know what I mean? And she just would always, she tells me like, wow, I can see the difference. Like you look so good. And I'm just like,
Can you promise me something moving forward from today?
I don't think I can
Yes,
keep
you
this
can.
from.
Yes, you can. I think she knows.
I know what
what's
you're going to ask.
He didn't even ask.
coming. I
I
haven't
know
asked.
what it's going to be.
Moving forward, okay, if you can promise me, start posting your journey physically, what you eat, how you feel, your workouts.
What's the hesitation?
Yeah.
What's the hesitation?
Because here's why. It's not to show you off. It's
Yeah.
because to continue inspiring other people,
help
because
others.
there's so many people in your spot where you were before. Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
If you were here today and you go back in time to that person that was emotionally disconnected with yourself when your friend said, "Hey, you look different. Like, are you okay?" What would you say to her right now?
I would definitely just start speaking positive words into her, you know, saying like, you can do it. Your future self will thank you. Like, it will all turn out okay. But yeah, that's true. My journey has not been easy. Like, I'm not going to say, hey, like I did this in a year. Like, I've been doing this for years. Like, everything that I did in the past has really gotten me to this point where I am right now. You know, that's like starting by myself. I didn't have TikTok. I went by myself, you know, I didn't have anyone. And then I joined CrossFit. That helped me so much. And then I decided to get a coach, you know. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, hey, I did this in a year. Like, everything good in your life takes time. Like, anything worth having will, you know, take time. You don't want to have a progress in 30 days. Like, I promise you're not going to want that.
You don't appreciate that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It took me 10 years to put on 50 pounds. So,
and it's like the little steps that you do in your daily life that will add up enormously.
So that's what you would say to yourself.
Yeah. And I do need to, you know, like the DMs I get, I'm like, maybe I should post, you know, because
like I said, silent following. People, they look up to you. Like how your friends are sending you snaps and sending you pictures of them in the gym and what they're eating. Like, you know, they now have a role model, which is you. And as weird as it is to say that you are someone's role model,
it's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
That's what you've become. So, you know, exactly. So, you know, show your progress, but do it in a way of like, you know, to help people. Because if you go on social media and how many of these women and even the guys that are posting stuff that are influencers, and all of you suck. I'm just going to say I have zero respect for all of you. You edit your photos. You set false expectations. You create a false reality and make people feel terrible about themselves. So having another genuine person just posting about their story, being honest. Like one of my new clients, Heather, she's an amazing person. Amazing person. She, every day, every single meal, she takes a picture of and posts it on her story and tags me in it. And then at the end of the day, she has a recap of it. She's posting about when she's at the gym, she'll take a selfie to hold herself accountable. She's doing all these things.
And what's her biggest weight?
Because she was over 300. And by herself, she's lost 50 pounds. And then now with me, since we've just fine-tuned a couple of things, I'm not going to take any credit for that. She did it all on her own.
Amazing.
Is she below 300 now? Or
We're below 300. We're down to,
below
I think, the last time she checked in with me, she was 297. I'm pretty sure we're going to be even lower than that. But same thing, she's doing that, and she's getting people messaging her, like, you know, you inspired me to try your chicken recipe. And the first day she came in, she said someone from FTC, she doesn't know who it is, someone that goes to FTC messaged her and asked her for a food recipe. She's like, I've never met this person, I don't know who it is, but they're messaging me because they saw my food.
Yeah.
And they want.
And so that's what I'm saying. The point of the conversation is that, you know, we think of an inspirational person, a motivational speaker, or a role model. They're like this huge actor, huge, you know, something that won a lot of championships or something like that. It doesn't have to be that person.
No.
Anyone can inspire anyone at any level. So that's why I want you to do it. That's why I want you to start posting and show some videos, post your workout videos. And you gotta start doing that because you inspire a lot of people, especially young females that want to look like you and that look up to you. Think about that for a second. You never want anyone that go through the same path as you did, right? Or maybe better.
This is your way of helping them, like what you tried to do before. Because don't you wish the old version of you had someone like you now to help them and look up to?
100%.
So there's a little quote thing, and it's called the rule of 33%. So you're supposed to spend 33% of your time with people that are below you. And that's people that maybe, like, whether that's business, fitness, whatever it is, because then that helps you inspire other people. And then you spend 33% of your time with people that are on your level, friends that are similar income, similar physique, similar this, so you can hold each other accountable. And then 33% of people that are above you. And that's people that you can be inspired by, look up to, grow to be like that. And then 33, 33, and 33 puts you at 99. And what's left? The 1%. So that's the goal. Like literally it's like a statistical math thing. Like if you want to be 1% 33% of your time, 33% of your time, 33% of your time. What's left? 1%.
Yep.
You have to start there. Yeah. So you gotta start posting. Can you promise that?
It's on camera and everything.
Yeah, I was just gonna
Put
say
you on blast right now.
you're committed. I'll turn this specifically into a reel, and he'll blast it everywhere.
Tag you in it. Yeah, everyone's gonna see it, and then everyone's gonna look forward to when you post.
And the biggest thing is, what is your advice for people that are considering wanting to start a journey or finding a coach, or advice to anyone that were in your path before? What is your advice to people now, right now?
15-minute warning.
I would say just do it for yourself. Don't do it for anyone else, because if you end up doing it for someone else, you will get screwed over.
I love that.
Just do it for you. Even if you feel like you kind of don't want to, but if you have that thought in your mind, you just have to jump. You know, you have to make that final jump, because what you want is not going to be in your comfort zone. I'll tell you that. I thought it was, right? But you're just going to have to step out of your comfort zone and want better for yourself, because a lot of the times we stress about things we can't change, but this specific thing is something you can change, so why not change it?
Yep.
And this is something that you can change.
Yeah.
You can control it too.
You don't like your body, you know you can change it. You're going to have to sacrifice, but it is what it is. And sometimes, like, what has helped me is showing myself tough love too. Like, not being so lenient, but I also show myself tough love, you know, and holding myself accountable and realizing where I'm going wrong. And you just have to accept it.
Yep.
Well, how does it go? It says something like, when a bird lands on a branch, it doesn't trust that the branch won't break. It trusts in its ability to fly away if it does. Yeah. So it's the same thing too. Like, you can fly, you can change. Yep. Yeah. And then also, I think tough love, people mistake tough love with being mean to themselves. You fucking idiot. That is not.
No, it's not.
That is not tough love. That is just
We've
tough.
done that.
That is just tough without the love.
I still do that. I still do that to myself.
Yeah.
That's just tough without the love. You need
And you know what's
tough
crazy
love.
is self-love is also really hard to do, which people think it's not, but it really is, because
It really is.
you're stuck between what you want and what you actually need. You know, and you always have to choose what you actually need instead of like what you actually want at the time.
What are the sacrifices that you made this entire year while you're in this program? Because I can tell you mine right now.
Yeah.
My biggest sacrifice?
Because for me, to give the example, was time away from the fam. For example, after we're done with this call, and this is we're doing this on the Sunday.
Yeah.
Right. Nobody works on Sunday, but we're working.
Yep.
And then right after this, me and Colton and we're gonna go to the gym while the baby and mama are sleeping. Right. And so, and it's cool that they do that, because it allows me to go to the gym. But with me and Colton, we're gonna be gone for 3 hours minimum. Right. We're gonna go to the gym. We're gonna hit the sauna. So that's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make, because I need that for my mental health.
Yeah.
Because if I don't do that, knowing that I'm gonna leave out of town Thursday, I'm not gonna have time to do it this week. So today is the only time that I can do that.
I think also sacrificing the things that bring you peace, whatever it is, when you do have time to spend with your family, you're not as peaceful. It's like you'd rather, instead of spending, 4 hours of unpeaceful time with your family, you'd rather spend 1 hour of pure bliss with the family. It's better. It's more rewarding.
Yeah.
It's more of quality time, I think, because then I get to condense my time with the family, but it's quality.
Same thing with the gym. It's like, I'll just be the first one to say it. I don't like going at all. I'm 2.5, almost 3 years in. I've never once liked it, but I know it's necessary because it makes every other part of my life enjoyable.
Yep. And that comes from motivation, right? Because let me ask you about your motivation. Are you still motivated to go to the gym every day right now?
No, but you have a goal to reach.
Yeah.
You ever sat in the parking lot for like 15 minutes in your car because you don't want to go?
You don't want to go.
Yeah.
Like, there's times where I just want to, like, when I get off work, let me just go to bed and not worry about anything. Don't even want to eat. Like, it's just, I don't want to go, but I will tell you the motivation will not always be there, but that's not what matters, is because you set a goal for yourself and you have to keep it.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know? But as far as sacrifice, I would have to say just spending a little bit more time by myself, like not going to outings, because sometimes I feel like tempted and I can be a little weak, and I'm like, oh, if I go, then I'm going to eat this, I'm going to drink this. And I'm like, do I really want to do that to myself? So sometimes I can't go to places that I'm invited to. And I feel like that's, you know, a sacrifice you have to make.
100%.
Like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like,
100%.
I
But
can't-
people understand that, though, your goal.
Yeah.
They know that, and they're okay with it.
Yeah.
But some people don't. And that's what makes it very, very difficult for a lot of people.
And eventually you get those people that will reach out to you that are like, hey, we all want to go here. Like, does that work for you? Like your lifestyle? Like I've experienced that before. Like, hey, we want to go do this. Can you come? And it's not so much like, do you want to? It's like, is that okay? And sometimes I've been like, no, I can't eat there or whatever. And they've been like, well, where can you? And I've had great friends that have totally switched things just because they wanted my presence. And that's a sacrifice thing too. They're sacrificing things to be my friend.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's also having like the right people in your friend group too.
100%.
It's like, even if you lose friends, like your old life, like, you know, you start working out, you'll gain ones that have the same goal. And so you're able to relate, and, you know, they're quality people.
Yeah.
And going to FTC, you actually just trained me, and I would only go Mondays, and I would go to another gym, right? But then I was like, you know what, let me actually just join this gym. And it's actually amazing because everyone there looks amazing, but their work ethic, you can already tell, like, they work their ass off too. Like,
And being around other people like that is so like,
motivates you to do it.
like influential. It's very powerful. I feel that way too. Like if I'm working out by myself at Vasa, which I like because it's just down the street from my house, I can tell sometimes like I get a little nervous or whatever. And even things like, I'm like, I'm not going to go as heavy as I normally can just for like injury, like no one's there to watch me or spot me or anything. But then like I'll go to FTC and like I'm working out with these guys and there's someone else that's jacked that tells me I look good and stuff, and all of a sudden I can lift 20 pounds more than normal and it's easy. It's like you don't realize how powerful.
It's the energy effect.
yeah.
You know what
And
I
you're
mean?
doing a rep and you can hear someone just say, you got it, like you know, and you're just like, dang, I do, like I have to do more, you know. So
The amount of people talking shit in a good way when I'm lifting something, I'm like, oh, yo, you can do more than that. And I'm like, what the okay, fine.
Yes, you're like-
and
My favorite too
you push
is like
yourself.
I'll like last set, I'll do this on purpose. I'll turn the camera on him last set and he'll pretend like he's not tired and do like
And I'll push
a
more.
ton of reps, and then
I push
as
more.
soon as I turn the camera off, he's like, fuck, dude.
yeah, I push more.
It's all mental. It's all psychological.
Yeah.
It's really
So what did you learn, right, from the day you start the program till now? What is the biggest lessons or learning knowledge that you've accomplished so far?
biggest lesson is honestly, it's my eating habits. Like the way, I didn't know I had to eat 6 times a day. Okay, I was just doing like 3, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm fine. So that was like my biggest lesson, and mentally, I would have to say, just pushing yourself till failure. That's the biggest thing. Like I never did that before, you know? So that has been a little struggle because, you know, I'm kind of used to just doing the 10, and then when you're not coaching me, I have to push myself. Which
Do you
is like,
do you hear my voice sometimes?
yes, I do. I'm like, sometimes I text you like,
Bro,
I'm
every
like, I
Get out of
should
my
text
head,
him.
dude.
Yeah.
every time.
I thought that was
every
just
time.
me.
Yep.
No,
I can
every
just hear
client.
one more. And I'm like, oh, I gotta
Or
push myself.
the one that I get is every single time I'm doing leg extensions, I hear, all right, 5, 4, 3, 3, 3. And I'm, dude,
Yeah.
shut up.
Yeah,
Yep.
because you can do more.
Yeah, you can do more, exactly.
You can always
and
do
then, obviously, you've taught me how to do specific workouts. You know, I thought I was doing that, my posture and stuff, I thought I was doing them fine, but then you showed me, and I was like, oh, this is the correct way. This is how it feels. That's like,
I think that's
one of
the biggest
lessons.
value of having an in-person coach
Yes.
versus online. And we have online clients, don't get me wrong. They're not my favorite. I mean in terms of
People wise, yes, like coaching
Yeah,
stuff.
no,
Coaching.
we love all of our clients, but it's
Yeah,
makes it
we love
harder
our
because
clients
we can't
equally.
be there
Yeah.
to show them for them.
Exactly.
it's just not
like I have my
cup
he does
of
the same
tea.
thing. We have our clients online. I tell them I'll record your top set on every workout and send it to me so I can check form. Because that's when it's at their heaviest. So I know like if your form's off, we're going too heavy or we need to tweak something. But you can only do so much with video feedback.
We need to talk about that fitness app.
Yeah, we do.
We've been talking about
we've
doing
been talking about
videos
that.
and like creating an app and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think teaching you the ability to have not only the right form, but the intensity behind it and the purpose behind it. Like a lot of people just lift weights, just
to check it off the
you know,
list.
and then I'm like, oh, what do you feel? I'm like, oh, I feel on my traps. I'm like, we're doing legs. How do you feel this on your traps? Yeah. This is a true story. I'm not making this up. And so until we get to the fundamental of things, and what happens, I have to simplify everything. And you know this. You start at the grass area. Yeah. You graduate from the grass area to the gym, to the equipment. If you can't graduate from there, what makes you think you can push weight in the gym using the free weights or the machines?
We have to make sure form is correct. I mean, lifting heavy it's vital, but start with form, get that down, and then learn how to keep that form as you go heavier. Yeah. And that's the most important thing.
I had to pretty much start all over too with weights, how much I was lifting. Like you showed me my posture and how to do specific machines, so I had to do less weight, because obviously the more weight I was doing, I wasn't doing it right.
That exact same thing happened with me. I was like, yeah, I can do like this much in chest press. And he was like, no, you can't. Do it correctly. Exactly. And I was like, nah,
I'm like, oh,
we can murder someone with 5 pounds.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you do it the right way.
Like, don't underestimate those little weights, because
my favorite is
those pink ones, those pink 5 pounds, those are the heaviest weights in the gym, dog.
Every time we're doing something, I'm like, okay, go grab the 5s. He's like, are you fucking kidding me? What are we doing? Yeah. And
he hates it.
It's not the big weights.
You get more scared of using a 5-pound dumbbell than you do when my kid go grab the 80s. He's like, oh, okay, I can do that. I'm like, all right, let's go get the 10s and the 5s. He's like, shit.
Yeah.
What malicious torture are you about to put me through? Yeah,
exactly. That slow torture.
It is, and then I make you pause. I do a 5-second negative.
Yeah.
Do you remember when you started to work out and your recovery process? Because when I first started, I remember it'd take like 3 or 4 days to recover, and I'd be in so much pain. I couldn't move my arms or my legs. I literally had to like lower myself down to sit down on anything, and then you recover now, and I've recovered about overnight, like about a day, and I'm good to go. But do you remember what that process was like when you first? Did you ever want to quit? I guess because that was me when I first started with him. I was like, why am I doing this? Like, I am miserable. I'm miserable.
Have you had those? Have you had those moments?
You ever
when
wanted
I
to quit?
first started, especially because I've always loved leg days. Okay, everyone knows the videos you post are always leg days, but
every day you come in, we're doing legs today.
Always,
every single time.
I promise I do upper body workouts, but when I would do leg days with you and it was on the turf or less weight and stuff, I felt the burn and I was like, man, fuck this. Should I?
It's spicy.
Do I even really want this for myself? Like, I started questioning, like
I was a little too ambitious.
Yeah, a little too ambitious.
Which is another reason why we don't do month to month, because someone's gonna have that moment and they're like, fuck, I ain't paying next month.
Yeah.
I'm not coming back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Were you hesitant or scared? This is the last question. Were you hesitant or scared before you hired me or a coach? Right? Because I know a lot of people out there watching my stories or our stories or any other influencer or fitness coaches, whatever out there, and then they're like, yeah, I want to sign up, but do I really want to? Did you ever feel like maybe you should not do it? Because I was there. When I first started, I was like, I can do this shit by myself. Literally, I told Jess the exact same thing. She found the coach before I did. And then we came in together the second time. And I sat in the office and then I realized, holy shit, I knew nothing.
Yep.
I knew nothing. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then that sold me, because I'm like, okay, if I want to get to the next level and if I want to look the best I've ever looked, I have to hire someone.
I tried to do it by myself this last year, lost my abs.
We know.
Yeah, I know. I tried to do it by myself for a year, lost my abs. I've been training with Yo again for 2 months. My abs are back.
See? Yeah. I was a little hesitant because I'm like, well, I've been going to the gym for about 7 years. Like, what could he possibly show me that I haven't shown myself?
That's a valid question.
Yeah.
Or not only that, but it's like, if I join and I don't succeed and I give up on myself, that's disappointing not only you, but disappointing myself. So do I really want to go through that? Like, am I really going to keep those promises to myself within those 6 months?
Were you worried if it was the right time or the wrong time to do it? Because we get a lot of people say, it's just, I need to wait for the right time. Like, right now is not the right time to do this. It's never going to be the right time.
Yeah, really. No, I wasn't really worried about that because you have to ask yourself, like, if not now, then when?
When?
Like, you're only prolonging your process.
One day or day one?
Exactly.
I love that one.
Just might as well start now.
Yeah.
I was a little bit hesitant because I'm like, what is he going to?
It's a valid question. Every client's
And
exact same.
it's a big investment for a lot of stuff. It's a big investment of time, money, like to sign up. Also, food that takes a lot of time to you start cooking instead of eating out. Like,
my only worry is actually finding the wrong coach.
Mm-hmm.
Is like, hey, I'm going to spend this much money, and what if I don't get a coach that doesn't care about my goals, just after my money, and I'm not going to see any progress, like. Which
sadly, that's pretty. I mean, it's kind of common in this industry. People they just think because they go to the gym they know how to coach people, and so they'll just give you a list of recommended foods and just tell you to eat off that list. They don't know anything about nutrition, and they give you just a blanket workout program.
So did you find the right coach?
Yeah.
No.
And that's not what I wanted for myself. Yeah. I didn't want someone to just be like, hey, this is what you're going to eat.
Exactly.
And then train me, but not actually train me, not actually push me past my limits.
But it takes two to tango. So you need someone who's ready to coach, but you need to be coachable.
Yes.
How many times have somebody signed up with you and they just will not listen?
Zero coachable.
Won't show because they're not coachable. Like it takes two to tango.
It's frustrating because we know that they want it, but they aren't quite ready for it.
And the cool thing about that too, I see your potential, and I know how to push that. And you've had a coach before, you played soccer, so I know that mentality. Exactly. And I have to say, coaching you is still today very easy. I don't need to babysit you. I don't need to be on your ass. Like I tell you not to eat like ass on the weekend. Like you do it. I give you a cheat meal. You follow the plan. And a year later now, look at how much you've changed, right? Your body composition is completely changed. Now your glutes and your quads, they're not fat. Yes. They're actual muscle, right? And so people need to understand, like, if you want it, you can work for it. It's not about your genetics. It's not about my genetics. No, it's not about his genetics.
I'm so tired of genetics.
Does it help? Absolutely.
It helps,
it does propel you to the next level. But without hard work and consistency, none of that means bad. None of that means anything. Yep. You know what I mean? Like it's hard work beats talent every time. Every single time. So if you have both, next level. So what is your next goal now? Now that you achieve your physical goal, you're there. What's your next goal?
Maybe a show.
Oh, I was gonna make.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you listening to this right now?
Listen, because when I did CrossFit, I never really thought.
Hold on, you won't post on Instagram, but you're gonna go compete
naked on stage.
I don't have to post. I'm just gonna go on stage.
Still, I mean, that's in front of a lot of people.
Yeah. In a bikini, posing, spray tan. You got oil, your makeup, your hair, your jewelry.
That's why I said maybe a show. I'm open to it.
And I think so. You joined CrossFit and then you decided to compete, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, I love it.
Yeah.
I had a moment like that with bodybuilding. So when I started with him, my whole thing was just I want to put weight back on that I lost after my shoulder surgery, and just finally, look like a human being, not look like a
man.
Not look like a just skin and skeleton bone. And he kept bugging me to do a show, and I was like, no, like why the hell would I want to get spray tanned and go up on stage and do all these poses and look like an idiot? Like, that's stupid. And he's like, just do one. So I finally agreed to it just to get him to shut up. The second, the morning show, prejudging, we were in the same categories for both classes. Go on stage, we do the prejudging with all the competitors in our class. The second we walked off, I turned to him, I'm like, I hate you. I hate you because I want this to be my entire life's purpose now. So I have a feeling if you were to do one show, you were going to have that same thing.
You're not going to stop.
Yeah.
And think about a lot of people have fear of like being in front of audience and stuff, or like public speaking, stage fright, whatever. You have to know you work your ass off. The last thing you think of is not want to be on stage. You want to be on stage because you want to show it off. Yeah. It's a different.
That's the best you've ever looked. That's the leanest you've ever been. Like,
I don't know how to explain it. Like when you're standing in line about to go, I'm like all I think about. I'm like, I'm fucking ready.
Yep. Yeah.
This is it. I brought my best.
Yeah.
it's up to the judges now. I just got to pose. Just got to pose my ass off.
I think you would enjoy it for just that reason of like showing people what you've accomplished and the hell you went through to get there.
It's definitely the hardest thing you've ever done. Because you did a cut with me, and that was very hard. But it's that times 2. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which and you'll already kind of know what to expect going into it. And the nice thing is now you have less body fat than you did then.
Way
so
less.
Should you decide, okay, you know, because right now essentially if you want to do a show, he's going to prep you to start prepping.
Yep.
Yeah.
Meaning we're going to grow you the right way, keep your body fat to a minimum. So when you do start prep, it's not 12 weeks like a lot of coaches do where they just crash diet you and just get you skinny.
Yep.
It's 18, 20, 22 weeks.
Yeah.
But you're really not going to feel that cut and that prep until 6-8 weeks out.
6-8 weeks
because
out.
if you go into it already lean, then it's going to be easy.
Yeah.
Easier.
Minimum cardio.
Yeah.
30, 40, 45 minutes at most.
Yep. And then just a short little window where, okay, we're gonna turn volume to 11. Now we're going to push.
Yep.
But
and those is just temporary. But I think that's a good goal to have.
Yeah.
I think we should definitely have that conversation tomorrow when I see you.
Yeah.
And then we'll pick a timeline and see what you look like. But I have to see what you look like and see what the vision that we want to put you in. Because I have a feeling it's going to be wellness.
It will be wellness.
It's There's no way you fit bikini. Nope. So because you have a lot of mass under there. You have a lot.
Yep.
So it's going to be good. It's going to be awesome. Thank you for being on. Colton, anything else you want to add?
Me.
I'd say our classic question that we like to end things with is if there's somebody out there that's hesitant to start their journey, what have you kind of learned about starting your journey, and what advice would you give someone else that is hesitant about starting?
I would say have a goal in mind and have a purpose. And like I said, just do it for yourself, because at the end of the day, being healthy, like health is wealth. You know, you've heard it, but I didn't really believe it. Like growing up, I'm like, whatever. But now as I'm getting older, like health really is wealth. You owe it to yourself. You deserve to have a healthy life.
Yeah.
And when you internally feel good about yourself, you really feel like you can accomplish anything that comes to in your life, you know. And I would also say do your research. Like there's so many resources out there, but also do your research. You're able to pick and choose who you want as a coach, which is good. Like I think we have great resources now. You have TikTok where there's some bad influences, right? But there's also good coaches that actually show you the posture and actually, you know, and you have YouTube. But it's always good to actually have an in-person coach too, because just having that, you know, one-to-one time and, you know, feeling and having someone in your ear to just like support you through your sets and stuff is way better. Because I even thought about getting an online coach before, you know, I came to you. But I'm glad that I got you as a coach.
I told him that when I started with him, because I would meet him on Wednesdays at Vasa after work in South Jordan, and then on Saturday mornings at Iron Ground. And I told him the only reason why I followed my plan is because I knew I'd have to see him in person. If he just gave me everything and I didn't see you, I would not do it.
Exactly. That's what I'm like. If I did online, I probably would have cared less, and I wouldn't really be as strict on myself, you know. But
now you can probably do online.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you have that routine.
I have. I built that routine. I've built, you know.
Yeah, you have the foundation for success. Like now it's, you know, he'll still guide you, but you know what to do. You know what foods your body likes, what it doesn't like. If he gave you macros, you'd know how to do it. You'd know how to track
your blood work.
Yeah, you'd know when to do all those things. You'd know how to check in. But starting out, zero experience, and you just want to get an online coach.
Yeah, in person probably would be better first.
So I would say if you want to hire Johan, just do it. Like if you're hesitant, just do it.
Press
full send. You won't regret it.
Appreciate that. But thank you for coming on our 9th episode. And thank you for sharing your journey. Thank you for Special 9. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for sharing your journey, because this is what we wanted. This is why we created this podcast. It's not for us. No. We can sit here and talk about gyms all the time or health all the time, but coming from you and listening to your journey and your health, like a lot of people connect to that. And
people will get more value hearing our clients talk about their journey than us.
Yep.
Right.
100%. Because we
want to show you all off. You deserve it.
Maybe.
Look at the hell you've been through.
Maybe I'll put my progress out there. Just kidding. I already made a promise, so
you gotta do it.
Well, thank you so much for being here. Thank you
for having me.
Nik as well, being a co-host, and Colton being a part of it as well. So We'll catch you guys later on our 10th episode. This is going to be a really good one too. See y'all later.